don't have to go down there. I can use the ruby slippers and send you home. And when you get back, you will never think of Oz again.
What about my friends?
Forget about them. You can't help them now. There's no place like home.
Hello, folks. I'm here. This is Cindy Podcast. Welcome to it. And I fucked up the intro already, but I'm gonna roll with it because yeah. I am Gary Hill. I'm one of your hosts for today, whatever time zone you're in. It's nighttime somewhere, I'm sure.
Wherever you watch it.
Wherever you watch it, yes. I have none of my regular co-hosts with me tonight. But I do have another eligible lady here with me, person, if you will. Well, whatever these children call themselves these days, I don't know. It kind of drives me. I don't mean to offend ever, but she is one third. We'll call her 1/3 of the They Must Be Destroyed on Sight crew, the brand new kid on the block. Lady Lee, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I guess technically it's 1/4 because we also have Paul.
Yeah,
when
Paul
he can show up.
Paul shows up sometimes. Yeah, so 1/4.
Yeah. He's more original than I am. Yeah, so I'm just there. I'm that other person. I am the one who finishes the wheel set. So we have 4 wheels.
Yeah.
We have a good car.
So when Paul doesn't show up and Daniel's out punching Nazis. He punches nachos too, I hear. But Lee shows up to fit the bill, and I think she's pretty great on the show. How do you like your time on the show?
I actually love it. It's a lot of fun. I've started watching way more movies than what was in my wheelhouse originally. So it's been really a great time, perspective of it as well. So it's not just like watching movies anymore. It's actually trying to like dissect the movie and like figure stuff out and understand things. It's really cool. It's enjoyable.
Nice. I'll start the show the same way we always start the show, and I'll ask you, what have you been watching lately?
I've been watching a few movies. So I watched Promising Young Woman and the Jabberwocky for the They Must Be Destroyed on Sight podcast. I also watched Boyhood for my class, and yeah, that is what I've been watching for movies.
That is a hole in my Linklater watching. I haven't seen Boyhood.
So it is an incredibly long movie. It is a very different concept. I personally would not watch it again, but I am happy that I did watch it because it was something that was like completely new to me. I've never experienced a movie where they used the same actors for the 12 years, and the way they had it up or set it up as well, there was no real storyline. It was more like the life and times of. So you got to see this family go through like the different phases of life, and it was also really interesting because you actually got to watch the bond that these actors developed over the 12 years. So like you just see how they connected more so throughout the movie as the movie progressed.
Wow. I mean, she's been watching high-class cinema. I've probably been watching stuff that people think is fucking dog shit. Man, oh man.
I just been watching this for school.
And that's fine. You can watch it for school, you can watch it for whatever your motivation is. I have the motivation to watch, high-class trash cinema, I guess, if you will. I watch these 2 films because Cootie, our friend from Kiss the Goat, is having a birthday, and she's doing a listener's choice thing, so I said, I'm going to watch Mausoleum, which if you don't know what that is, this is a film about a woman who has a family curse that involves her to be possessed by some unknown demon, that she catches the fever inside the mausoleum when she's a little girl, and when she becomes a woman, like a grown woman, she discovers she has powers, like psychic powers. Ooh. Her eyes turn green, very, very, very corny-like, and she's very overly sexual, and this makes for a hilarious horror film that everybody should see. And it's wild. Mausoleum.
See, that sounds more fun though. Like mine that I watched was really long.
Oh, it is fun. It is fun, but somebody else will say, "Wow, this is really stupid," But I say those people are wrong, but they think they're right, and I say, "Whatever, brah. Mausoleum's the shit. You should watch it." Oh,
Do it. Watch it.
dude, watch it,
now.
man. Go see it now. The second film I watched for my candidate for the Cootie's viewer's choice is Hellbound, which is a Chuck Norris film in which he sort of fights the devil. This is a film in which the devil's I forget his name. He's like his compatriot has a staff that's been broken into 8 pieces by knights from their crusade. So good old Chicago cop Chuck Norris, who's involved in a murder of a rabbi. This happens. He has to go to Israel to go wrap this up with his token black partner and go fight the devil himself. And if that doesn't sound like a barrel of fun to you, I don't know. It's one of the better Chuck Norris films that I've seen.
That sounds pretty entertaining.
It is, man.
They sound a lot more entertaining than the movie Boyhood I had to watch. The other two were a lot more fun to watch. One was a lot more comedic, and the other one was a lot more intense.
I like Linklater joints too. I've never been big on his debut that everybody put so much stock in, the Slacker, but I like Linklater quite a bit. It's one of those things where I dig him. I love Days of Confused. I hate that Bad News Bears remake, so it's kind of hard for me to put that in the back of my brain. That's a thing that he made. I was like, why? Did you need the money, man? Seriously? Oh my god.
They're allowed to make mistakes. They're allowed to have flops. It happens.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Because there are times where we all have those moments where we do something or create something or have something where we think it's good, and then realistically it's terrible.
It's like, I need a paycheck movie. Let's pick that Bad News Bears remake with Billy Bob Thornton, which is really the only good thing about that movie is Billy Bob Thornton. Really is. Oh my gosh. I watched some. Oh, here we go. This was fun. Because it's only like 75 minutes, and that's all it really deserves to be. It's called Sweet Revenge, and this stars Nancy Allen and Martin Landau. Martin Landau plays a sex trafficker, I'm guessing, because they really don't say what he does with the women, but he has abductors that go to Los Angeles and take women back to, I'm guessing, some South American country. They really don't say where that is either. But anyway, Nancy Allen plays a reporter who gets mixed up in this mess because she's reporting on him, and she gets kidnapped, and along with 3 other girls, and they get in crew with like a huckster who sells fake perfume. And they're going to go take down Martin Landau, commando style, and go collect Nancy Allen's daughter, spoiler, she's not there anyway. She survived the attack, and she's still in Los Angeles. But
ooh.
it's really stupid, but really fun. And Martin Landau is not doing much but being furniture in that movie. But it's got a young Gina Gershon in it, and I've always loved her. And this from 1987, so it was made the same year as RoboCop. So Nancy Allen must have making that MGM dollar with that. she is wearing a wig in this movie. It has to be a wig. I'm not sure because she had short hair in RoboCop, but this looks like I'm moving my hands, but it looks like a perm from hell, and it just keeps getting dirtier and dirtier throughout the film, and nobody gives a shit. But this film about these women who all of a sudden, the one girl can drive anything. They know how to fire automatic assault rifles, and they know all these things, and you don't give a shit because it's 75 minutes long. It's you're in and out. It's quick and easy. So, yeah, that's my quick review of Sweet Revenge from 1987. You guys should watch it though. It's a lot of fun.
These movies sound like a lot of fun. You are doing a very good job at promoting all of these movies.
See, and then you watch them, you say, what did he make me watch?
It's kind of like how Monty Python's been ruined for you by all the Monty Python fans.
By all the Monty Python
fans. What you're gonna
fans.
do to me. I'm gonna watch these and be like, what is he doing? Why is he making me watch this stuff?
Making fine recommendations, and I'm sure Leah will be very happy about that, and he hopes that
I'll
you
be
will
like, hey, Lee, I'm bringing more movies to watch.
do it. Yeah, I have fun with Lee. And if you guys haven't heard it yet, that Walter Hill episode 1 will be out before this is out. So, last call at Torchies. He announced it on the show, and I felt so bad. I've been so behind on editing, so it's coming. I promise, guys. It is coming. Yeah, today, Iris is supposed to be here, but we hope she's okay because I haven't heard from her. But I'm here with Lee, and we're going to do alternate Oz. We're going to do the Wiz, and we're going to do the very trippy, very, very wrong Return to Oz in parts, you know? We're going to do this. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just have a funny thing to say. So I watched Turbo Kid with Lee, and I had to watch The Wiz for you, like for this podcast. And when I was doing the one podcast, and he was asking like, what movie have you seen? I was trying to bring up Turbo Kid, but I called it Wiz Kid.
Yeah, I listened to the show. Yeah,
I brought them both in. And then I started talking about the movies that I was doing for this podcast, and again I said Wiz Kid. So now my nickname for Lee, he keeps calling me Wiz Kid to make fun of me because I kept calling both movies Wiz Kid. I just massacred them both entirely.
I thought you Canadians were supposed to be nice or something. You guys are he's so abusive to you. Yeah.
It's only facade. Canadians are really not that nice.
Man. So they like their humor fast and their milk in bags, people. Canadians. They're amazing people, you know.
What you saying about us, eh?
No, I seen the bagged milk demonstration. And I was like, we got milk in jugs in the States. What's the point? It's just extra steps. Come on, people. No.
What's the other one? Let's go for a rip, eh there, bud?
Damn. I've seen Strange Brew. I know how to speak Canadian, goddammit. You know. I
don't. I'm pretty sure I say about, but I guess I've been told that it sounds more like a boot than about. But I guess, I don't know. I'll let you guys judge. You guys can make fun of me if I say a lot or if I say about.
I've learned from the young age of cheap public television from those Degrassi kids how to speak Canadian, you know, and yes. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we're doing the Wiz. I'm sorry.
Just judge me on my accent.
Oh man. I'm not judging anybody. We're doing these in chronological order, so we're gonna do the Wiz first. And we're gonna do it right after this trailer.
In a different place, in a different time, different people around me. I'm on my way to find the Wiz. He's gonna get me back home.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. And good luck.
Genius who created me only took care of my dashing good looks, my razor-sharp wit, and my irresistible attraction to the wrong women. What he forgot was a heart.
A lion without any courage. Oh!
Can you help us, sir?
What's in it for me?
We'd be very grateful.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
Here it is.
An announcement from the great and powerful Oz.
Send up the one with...
Go!
Oh, that's the whiz. Hoping I could flag by any freaking copyright things. They play a lot of the songs in there in that trailer. Directed by the great Sidney Lumet. I'll say effects by Stan Winston. This is the early Stan Winston thing, and I'm impressed by his earlier work, isn't this stuff, and a lot more of the cornier stuff. Your basic plot synopsis is this, they move Dorothy into Harlem. She's played by Diana Ross, and she's taken away from her humdrum, living in Harlem life, pissed off because she's a teacher, I guess, and she's flown to Oz, and then a lot of stuff happens that you would normally see in The Wizard of Oz and other incarnations. She is tasked with the silver slippers to go to the Emerald City, and then gets tasked to go take on the Wicked Witch of the West, which is Eveline, and of course go home, because if you've seen The Wizard of Oz, you know basically what's going to happen. They get more into the books in the next movie we're going to talk about, which are Dorothy's a real small part of those books. But, this stars Diana Ross, I mentioned, as Dorothy, Michael Jackson as Scarecrow, the awesome Nipsey Russell, my favorite part of this movie, as Tin Man, Ted Ross as Lion, Mabel King as Eveline, and Lena Horne as Glinda the Good, and it's kind of sad to give this away in the credits, that Richard Pryor plays the Wiz, because it's kind of like, it's a human being, but you want to be surprised who it is. But,
yeah.
It is what it is. Produced and, of course, the music by Quincy Jones. It was a big part of this, that Motown sound. Unfortunately, Diana Ross wasn't a part of this in the beginning because they wanted somebody younger, obviously, because she looks too old to be Dorothy, obviously. But they wanted that name, but they didn't want the name that was in the Broadway play originally that was supposed to be in the movie. Stephanie Mills is the actress's name, and Diana Ross kind of used her diva powers. I guess she was a real pushy about it, and pushed herself into the role, basically. But I'll leave more factoids for later. I'm gonna ask Lady Lee here what she thought of The Wiz.
All right, so I have this love-hate with this movie, because one thing I found, there was a lot of big names, so a lot of talent. There were so many iconic moments throughout the movie that were insanely impressive, like choreography, musical, like all that stuff, like vocals. But I just found that there was too much of a competition to show all of the talent off. So there was a lot of just talented people, and it just seemed they all had to have this iconic moment that it dragged along the movie a little bit too long, because I found it was 2 hours and 16, and I think it could have got cut down like a good chunk, because there was a lot of the songs where they go on for too long. There was scenes that you saw they were just trying to show off the talent that they did have, because there was some really good songs like that at the end. Eveline, that part was probably my favorite. Like the choreography and the song, like phenomenal. Like it was one of those ones, like it gives you like goosebumps because it's so good. And I also love the Tin Man. Every time he was in it, I thought he was just absolutely fabulous. I don't know what you think, but I honestly thought that Michael Jackson was holding back. Like from what you see with him and his talent, his ability to dance and his ability to move, and compared to like the original Scarecrow.
No,
I don't know.
No, I kind of agree there, because this was 78. I think Off the Wall was out by now. Or maybe that was like 80 or something, but still, he might have even been, this might have been like reunion tour Jackson 5 time, where they got back together again and were doing the thing again, like Dancing Machine, stuff like that.
Yeah,
so he wasn't like, he was a star, because obviously Jackson 5 were like one of the biggest things in the 70s, but he wasn't the mega star he would become yet.
Yeah, I just found he's an incredibly talented dancer, like incredibly talented, and I just feel like he was held back for showing that, because his character, because in the original Wizard of Oz, the Scarecrow is like a bigger, like an out there character, like he's bigger than life. His body mannerisms and all that stuff are very like spontaneous, and he's very clumsy all the time, and his legs look like they're always drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, you kind of saw it with Michael Jackson, but it was very like held back. It was not nearly as it wasn't what I expected. Like, if I'm huge fan of Wizard of Oz, it's my absolute favorite movie from my childhood, and I've watched it like 10,000 times. So just to see like the representation of Scarecrow, it was just disappointing, because like Tin Man was amazing. I absolutely love how he made his own Tin Man. His way of being, his attitude, everything I thought was beyond impressive. Like, he was great. He was fabulous. Just Scarecrow, not as impressed. It was good. It's not as if it's bad. Absolutely good in it. It's just I felt something was missing.
Compared to the Wizard of Oz, though, he was the character itself. I don't know if it's written this way. I never seen the tease of like the Broadway play or anything, but he seemed like way more subdued as a comparison to the original one from the movie. Because the other one was kind of like for having no brain, he was kind of like a leader role amongst them.
Yeah.
Because Dorothy, she was like the Barbara of the Wizard of Oz. She was afraid of everything because she didn't know about anything. And in this one, she's kind of like assertive as hell. So it's almost like they switched roles.
Yeah. They just they gave her that leadership role. And yeah, Scarecrow just came second. Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but that's true. That is kind of interesting. A big thing I do appreciate is the level of creativity that this whole movie had. Because the first scene with the graffiti on the wall, I thought that was so cool. Like, visually, that was so much fun to watch. And like I said, the end scene with Eveline in the sweatshop, just the costumes and a lot of the scenes were just absolutely brilliant. The cabs that are never available, how they took New York City and they made it into like the Land of Oz, but like New York style. I know this is based off a musical, but I still think their interpretation was it was really visually awesome to see. Like, it's just see that creativity, see that artistic realm come out.
Oh, the set design is spectacular. I mean, especially, you see the great matte painting stuff in the movie, and the way they did Union Square in the movie. The golden steps, and I was waiting for Swan and Mercy from the Warriors to come bopping down the stairs looking for the popos or something. It looked great. It's like they took everything and made it their own. And I didn't think about the politics of the cabs. Being able to catch a cab.
Yeah.
Because that was a big problem in the 70s. The black people couldn't catch a cab because of the racism. But
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Thank you for that. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I loved how they put that in there. I thought that was really creative. But yeah, I think even like the way they recorded it, I think they tried too hard to make it look like a musical, because I know it's based off of a musical, but this is still a movie. And I think with the camera angles that they used, I found it was very it tried to show too much that it was a musical versus like trying to make it show that it was a movie. So that kind of took away, because a lot of the times with the movie you can kind of create atmosphere, especially since it's not like a live show or a live event. You can create a lot of atmosphere, and you can create a lot of like tension or like just mood with the camera angles that you use and how you use the camera. And I think they didn't didn't use that really in this movie. It was very simple when it came to the camera work.
They had like a $24 million budget for this movie, and I guess they wanted to either go big or go home kind of deal, or a lot of them, do it very, very simplistically or very stylized. Even today, some of them could pull it off. Like, I really enjoyed Sweeney Todd, the Tim Burton version, but I've never seen the play. But back in the day, and I know it involves a lot of crowd interaction with people and stuff, but I made it through about 20 minutes of that movie. I had to turn it off. I was like, this isn't the thing that I saw,
Yeah, I heard it was absolutely terrible. Like, it was just a complete flop. Like, even the actors who were in it thought it was a flop. Like, that was there. If you're looking for somewhere where they needed a paycheck, that's the movie.
It's like, one day when I get good and drunk, I'm going to watch that Cats musical, because I'm going to,
I feel that's like the only way you can watch it.
Man.
I haven't seen it. I haven't even attempted to watch it. I was kind of disappointed because there were so many names in there that I was impressed by. And then when I heard about it, I heard even the editing team just kind of gave up on it because there were some points where they were supposed to have like the CGI for the or all the cats and stuff, and some parts were just completely left out. Like they didn't even bother fixing it. Like, oh well, good enough.
It makes me hope that the Wicked musical is in the right hands. 'Cause they're making a film version of that, and I know I've never seen it. My sister's seen it, my grandmother's seen it, my aunt's seen it multiple times, and they really enjoy it. So I hope they don't ruin that for people. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I hope so, because there definitely can do musical to movie adaptations, and it does work. But sometimes I think they try too hard to stay true, so it loses that effect because it's different. Like when you do theater versus when you do film, it's different. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different type of interaction with the audience. It's a different kind of process. So you learn that you do have to understand that theater and film are similar in ways, but also very different. You have to kind of respect that when you are making a movie. And I think this one tried to just respect that it was a musical versus trying to say, hey, this is a movie. Because, yeah, there was just something about it. Like, there was so much that was good about it, but then there was just so much that lacked as well. Like, it just, it was very in the middle for me. Because there's parts that absolutely blew my mind away, and there was other times where I was like, okay, when's the next scene coming? Like, what's going on? Like, what is happening here?
I can tell you a couple things, and I love this movie for the most part. But I watched it for the show, and it felt really long this time around. And when you watch it with a critical eye, you could say, yeah, that this, because they have, when they do musicals and movies, they have even musicals that are written for film, they have numbers that are cut out. And they're for good reason. And I think there's a couple that either here that could have been shortened. Like, when they first go to the Emerald City. And the Wiz is doing his thing like, oh, green is over. I like things to be red. I think that whole thing could have been cut. Because it was fine, but it felt so out of context with the rest of what you were watching.
Even some of the songs, I found they could have shortened them, too. Because I found some of the songs got a little bit tedious. Like they just went on that little bit too long. And there was times too where they had the one song and as soon as it was done they jumped into another song.
Yep.
And the tone didn't match because it was either like that upbeat song and then Diana Ross would come in with this very slow song.
Yeah.
I don't know
because she's sad all the time. That's why in this movie,
Yeah. But I did laugh. I absolutely laughed about how she's just standing there and she's like, I'm 24 years old.
No, you're not. That's the problem. You're not 24 years old.
That was, I was reading through the comments, and that was one of the critiques that a lot of people made, because they're like, okay, whatever you want to think of this movie, she's not 24 years old. That just made me laugh. It didn't really ruin the movie for me because, like, it made no difference. She could have been 50. She could have been, like, 14. It wouldn't have made... Well, I guess 14 would have been different because she's, like, a teacher. But 23, 24, like they said, or 50, wouldn't have made a difference because it still had that same idea of, like, trying to grow and trying to learn something about yourself. So the age wasn't a huge factor for me. I could absolutely put that in the back of my mind. But they could have removed that line. They really didn't have to go in and say, I'm 24 years old.
I mean, even when you watch the original Wizard of Oz, you watch Return to Oz, which we'll discuss next. I mean, Dorothy's got some pluck to her. She's brave, she's assertive. Even when she's at a place she doesn't understand, it just seems like she's scared all the time with this movie. I just can't. That's one thing I don't like about it. Is that the Dorothy she's just off. Although
she's very whiny.
She's very whiny indeed,
Yeah.
But yeah, you get to our finale though. The time and I have to watch this by myself because there's a certain point in this movie where Dorothy, defeats the Queen, and then Lena Horne shows up, and there's a picture I shared where you can just tell that she ain't got time for Diana Ross's shit either, and I don't know how that memory is for her, but they didn't look very friendly, but
no.
she does her song, and she does her whole spiel about how easy it is to go home at this point, and yeah, it's and then Dorothy goes into her the home song, which is probably my third favorite song of the film, but it's been done better by other people. I don't know if you watch Glee at all. I'm not even a closeted Glee fan. I watch a lot of Glee, and Kristen Chenoweth, who was in the Wicked musical, she does a version of Home on the show, and it blows Diana Ross out of the water. It just does. Oh man, but yeah, the film itself, like I said, it felt really long this time, and for all the reasons you're saying, nothing you're saying is wrong. But if it was like a cool hour 45, and I think it'd have been a much better flowing film in that sense. And change that Dorothy out, man. I didn't need this kind of Dorothy, because every other Dorothy is totally different. She's just cold in this movie.
Especially when you think like the original 1939 Wizard of Oz, we had a Dorothy who's just this kind of like adorable girl who is very innocent and you see she's meek, but you see the development of her. Mm-hmm. You see her gain her strength and confidence, and you kind of see how she becomes a stronger character. And the same with Return to Oz. You see Dorothy again kind of grow, and she becomes more stronger. And then with this one, you just see a constantly whiny, annoying.
That's all it is throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just there's no real development. Like that character growth is just not there. Diana Ross really didn't develop the character. It was it's a challenging part. Like it is a very challenging part, especially considering again, original Wizard of Oz. It was just so well done that you're trying to compete with a movie that was like highly praised and is still a movie that a lot of people love and watch. So it's just this iconic film. So when you come and you take the character and you don't do anything with it, like you kind of don't make it your own and you don't develop the character, it ruins it. It ruins that story, because like we see Dorothy as like innocent and struggling with her own confidence, and then you see her just grow and become this amazing person by the end.
So yeah, I don't know too many stories behind the set here, but it seems like everybody else was kind of working their ass off, and she was kind of doing what Diana Ross wanted to do, like throughout the entire film. Because I'm pretty sure
I could see that.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't written that way for her to be so weepy and not really giving a shit kind of deal, and it seemed that way. But I mentioned. I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's less care put in that character.
It is. It's a lot less care, and it weakens the film. And I can see why it didn't do gangbusters at the box office, because they were really pushing this. This is the revolution of that's. I think like the first full African American musical, and that's fine. It just she wasn't right for it, and it really hurts the film. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what doesn't hurt the film though is the Michael Jackson stuff you get that's fun, which is the song with the crows is a really fun part of the movie with him.
Yes. Did the crows not look like the ones from Dumbo?
Yeah, they were meant to look.
They reminded me of the ones from Dumbo.
This is my only issue with the makeups and the costumes is the crows are meant to look racist, and it's kind of really strange. And the flying monkeys, which are motorcycle monkeys in this movie, they have like bulbous lips and like, okay, I see what you did there, and it's kind of off, especially and I'm not saying with woke eyes, they just look off. Like somebody designed these in a wrong way,
Yeah, they looked. Oh, and the friggin' the poppy scene where they go into like basically a strip club.
Oh yeah.
I was like, isn't this supposed to be a kids movie? Am I wrong?
They had to modernize everything, I guess.
Let's just throw them into the strip club. Yeah, Dorothy, 24-year-old Dorothy is like, ooh, let's go here. Not saying anything against it. It just.
Oh yeah.
It was just really funny. Like, it was just this so misplaced. Like, it just there was no rhyme or reason. There was nothing, like, not even questioning it, just being like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, let's go follow these naked people. Not saying I wouldn't do it, but like when you see the character that she is, it just seemed like she'd be more concerned about entering even if she wanted to, even if she like was totally willing. I just feel there would be some sort of hesitation.
Oh yeah, the Tin Man set, the amusement park set. I love his story about him. You know, I love the woman and she left me here to rust. You know, because he cried so much that he rusted over this woman, and I love that deal, and the Slide Some Oil to Me song, and I love Nipsey.
Yes.
Nipsey's one of the best. I feel that every day. My joints hurt every day. Like, slide some oil to me. You know, I need some oil here, baby. And, you know, let it trickle down my spine. I love it so much, you know.
Oh, he did such a good job. He was brilliant.
Let me lubricate my mind. I love it so much, man. The Nipsey stuff is great. Eveline, you know, she looks like a mammy, but, you know, when she starts belting out that song, Don't Nobody Bring Me No Bad News, I'm all in at that point, you know. It's
Oh my god, that song. I wish there was more of her. I wish there was more character development with like Dorothy and Eveline like going head to head. I wish there was like that kind of background story, because when it's just brought in out of nowhere,
yep,
it feels disconnected. But the thing is, that part is so strong that I wouldn't want it to be out of the movie. Like, it's just so good.
Well, you have that in the original movie, though. You have Margaret Hamilton, who was, you know, the evil bitch in town. Yeah. And she's represented in Dorothy, I'm guessing in Dorothy's mind, or in Oz's image, or whatever's going on in The Wizard of Oz. It could be in her head. We get that in the next movie. It might be in her head. It's represented as her, as this evil woman from town who happens to be the Wicked Witch of the West. And you're introduced right away to her. I mean, I love when the Munchkins are introduced. I love when they're that lack of introduction right there of one of the most iconic villains of all time is missing, you know. Yeah.
She made it worth watching the movie to the end, though. Like, honestly, you got to that part and you were just like, ooh, I love this. Like, it was totally worth going through the whole movie just to get to this one scene.
The short time you go there, it's represented in when she gets flushed down the toilet, though. They cared that much about that character to flush her down the toilet.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's okay, I was just about to bring up the one, or Miss One.
Miss One, yes.
So the first Good Witch. I was like, hold on a second. There's the first Good Witch, there's Glinda. And I'm trying to figure myself out, because I was like, wait, wasn't Glinda the Good Witch of the North? And is the one like the Good Witch of the South? And it was very confusing to me. Like, it was just very, I think I was going too much on the original movie, but I don't understand why they had to have two separate characters for that. Mm-hmm. Like, I just feel at that point it was just trying to throw more names in. But anyways, Miss One, again, just fabulous. Like, that's one of the scenes where you see the beginning of the movie and you're like, this is really good. Like, this is awesome. That was also a part that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, but I'm sorry.
Oh no, go on.
Yeah, I get lost in the sets in this movie. That's one of my favorite things about the movie is the attention to detail in the sets and how good they look, and you know their journey to from place to place, which you get in the original. But you know it drags in parts. Like you said, that some songs could have been shortened. Dorothy could have been more plucky than she was. You know that those
very flat.
Yeah, those two take it out of the movie for me. But there's so much to stick around for, like you said, though. So
yeah,
you don't regret your time with it. I'll put it that way.
No, like just to see that end scene is entirely worth it. Like, that movie, that one scene makes it entirely, like, oh my god, I love it. I'm gonna brag about that part so much. But the Tin Man, just to watch the Tin Man as well, like him developing the Tin Man's character, I love how they took the original idea of the Tin Man but completely made it his own character.
Oh yeah.
So there was some nods to the original Tin Man, but it was still him. It was him acting as a Tin Man, and he just developed the character so good. Like, never mind Dorothy. Get rid of Dorothy in this movie and just have the Tin Man.
Yeah, we need more Nipsey Russell in this picture, people.
Amazing. Just that was worth it. The first scene with the graffiti coming out of the wall, and the Miss One, that was like visually just so appealing. I loved it. You just kind of get lost in that moment.
That's my favorite choreography in the movie, is the Munchkins in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
So,
They were just a cool concept too, like just how they had the costumes. Like the person who originally came up with this, like to have the graffiti come off the wall. Like that's, my goodness, that is beyond brilliant. Like exceptionally amazing.
See, I'm biased when it comes to graffiti coming out of the wall because I love Xanadu so much. So, but yeah, if I had to pick one, you know, I'll pick my muse, Miss Olivia Newton-John and Xanadu. But that's unfair because of my love for Xanadu. With that
That's fair.
When that Electric Light Orchestra just hits, like, yeah, I'm in. But I'm in this movie too. I mean, I think we talked a lot about it. I'm gonna ask you anything else you'd like to say about the film, and what would you give it a 1 to 10?
It really pissed me off that they didn't keep the ruby slippers, just because the ruby slippers are so iconic that when they made them silver, I was very mad about that. Like, I know they're making it their own, but the ruby slippers are like the most iconic thing.
Again, yeah, iconic villain, iconic shoes. And you keep both of those things.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where I understand you're picking and choosing, but that's one of the ones that's like the original. That was the draw, like you always drawn to the shoes in both movies, like the Return to Oz and the original Wizard of Oz, because the shoes are so like brilliant and colorful, versus her shoes just look like plain shoes.
Yeah.
And that took away from a bit for me.
And I kind of understand. I kind of understand, you know, why they went the way they did, though, because she's supposed to be poor, like from Harlem, from the ghettos. I guess they had to make them look plain. But then again, when she went there, they weren't her shoes anyway, so it shouldn't matter, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
What do you give it 1 to 10 though?
This is difficult because, like I said, there's just so many brilliant scenes, like just iconic songs and choreography and set design. But then there's just, I'm gonna lean more towards a 6 because again, that last scene just saves the movie. Like it just takes it to the point where it's like, yep, you guys need to watch it just for that scene. Yeah,
I mean, I'll have to go with like a 7.5. Because, you know, you notice little things now. And I think if Diana Ross was I don't know. I had to figure out who you cast in this movie. That's not Diana Ross. There was doing things back in those days. It's a 7.5 though, because she weakens the film, and that's a real problem with The Wiz to me. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. This is a film I still love though, that I can still watch. And not on any given day, because that's again, it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. So, you gotta make the time, you know. But next up, kids. Remember when Disney used to make fucked up films for children? You know, we talked about The Black Hole. I mean, this is another one. We're talking about Return to Oz from 1985, I think it is. And we'll talk about that right in the trailer.
Remember how we spoke?
Not to talk about us.
This electrical marvel will make it possible for you to sleep again.
We have to get you out of here. That was the Emerald City. What's happened to everybody?
She has returned to Oz.
Are you Dorothy Gale?
They will get past Mombi.
I am TikTok.
My name's Jack Pumpkinhead.
What happened to the Emerald City?
Gnome King turned everyone to stone.
I'd rather take my chances back in Kansas.
Nobody knows where you are. I believe I'll lock you in the tower till your head is ready. Then I'll take you.
I believe you will not. We are here with our army.
She's more powerful than I thought.
man, that's powerful shit right there. Return to Oz. From 1985, stars a very young Fairuza Balk as Dorothy, and it stars Nicole Williamson, Jean Marsh, who plays our main villain in this movie, I guess, besides the Gnome King. But this woman, I'll get into later because I have a special relationship with her. Piper Laurie is Auntie M. Tim Rose, who people may know as Admiral Akbar from the Star Wars universe, plays Tic-Tac as one of the puppeteers. Oh, Brian Henson does the puppeteering for Jack Pumpkinhead and plays him. Justin Case plays Scarecrow. John Alexander plays the Cowardly Lion. Who plays the Gnome King? You see some of the Gnome King. I can't really find who's played. Yeah, Dr. Worley is the Gnome King as well. So that's the big reveal who the Gnome King is. But the way this film starts is basically Auntie M telling Dorothy to shut the fuck up about Oz. You're talking too much about Oz because you're going crazy. Yep. So they decide to take her to a special doctor. So if you think this is a children's film, film starts with her going to a dark institute where she hears people screaming, and Dorothy's next in line for shock treatments. People, so she makes her escape somehow. I forget how to Oz through a talking chicken, and
there was
what happened?
The storm that happened.
Yeah, the storm that happens.
Went out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
she
the
girl rescues her, the young girl.
Yeah, she makes it some way through the storm, and then she finds us all fucked up, and people are turned to stone. The yellow brick road is broken. There's these nasty looking wheelers about, and the Gnome King is the head motherfucker doing all this nasty shit. And I'll kick it to you again. Return to Oz. What are your feelings about the film?
What a visually wicked movie. Like, just the creativity of the characters. Like, TikTok is amazing. TikTok is my favorite. I am in love with it. Yeah, Jack is just a hilarious character to add on to there. And I can't remember the name of the moose chair. I think he had a name, but I can't remember. But that was really funny. Like, just how they had the head of the moose and they, like, mounted onto this couch to give him legs. Oh, my goodness. Like, how brilliant is that? Like, just these small things. I really enjoyed how Dorothy was actually the age that she's supposed to be, like, in the books. So that kind of gave you that authenticity of, like, the books compared to the movie. Or, sorry, the movie compared to the books. The reality of the mental health at the beginning is such a true statement, because anytime anybody was, even if they were struggling with mental health, it was like, okay, cool, yeah, electroshock therapy, or yeah, let's get a lobotomy, let's do this. It was a pretty common thing to do, so it was cool for them to show, like, the kids and how they're just like, oh yeah, cool, we're just gonna hook you up, it's not gonna hurt you, you're just gonna be brain dead afterwards, but you'll be better. So terrifying for kids, though, to show this for actual kids movie. But yeah, I had another thought and I just completely lost my mind, or lost my head. Oh yeah, so I did think it's kind of like a far stretch, but I almost got like a Sucker Punch vibe from it, of like how every time you kind of see Dorothy, she wakes up from this dream and she's like battling. So it just seems like it's just this whole other world that's going on while she's in the real world still, like her actual physical body's in the real world, and she's fighting this whole like fantasy realm. Yeah, I think it was a really cool movie. Yeah. that's all I got.
Yeah, me myself, I've seen this as a kid, and this played on the Disney Channel a lot back when I was a shorty, and you didn't notice the little morbid stuff back when you were a kid. You're watching like the mad puppeteering of one Brian Henson, who took up the mantle for his father, when he was sick, and it all, the visuals look great. The Jack Skellington, Jack Scarecrow, whatever his name is, he looks really great. TikTok is
so good.
TikTok is like the most unlikely hero ever, because he's like a short, stout little robot dude. But once she turns those dials, he can kick some ass. It shows the Wheelers whose boss he was terrified as a child. Those Wheelers were pretty scary stuff for me.
They're so creepy.
No, but the one that creeps me out the most is because I have a strange relationship with Jean Marsh from this movie, because she was in this movie, and then like 3 years later she would play Queen Bavmorda in Willow. So the fact that she's this person that wants to, you know, murder Dorothy with her creepy, man, the scene with the heads is freaky as hell. Like, she's got these random heads, like, in cases that she could switch out, and, you know, oh, God. But she's the one that wanted to kill Dorothy, and she was the one that wanted to kill the Daikini baby from Willow, too. So the baby cannot grow up and murder her. That's the plot to Willow. This is why she wants this baby, because the baby's going to grow up and be a great sorcerer and murder her, you know. So me and Jean Marsh have a weird relationship. I don't know how to feel about her. Piper Laurie too. I saw Carrie. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I saw Carrie way too early, and Piper Laurie is she's a powerhouse in that movie and scary as hell. Oh, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
At a pretty young age as well.
What's that right now?
I saw that movie at a very young age as well.
Yeah, but much
Great
like
parenting.
Yeah, great parenting, right? Yeah, that wasn't parenting. That was my cousin. Let me watch weird stuff. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was about to say, I love the rock wall, like the rock face.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way they did that. Every time I saw it, I was just so fascinated by it. This is so cool.
Yeah, the sets in the movie, though, much like The Wiz, are pretty phenomenal. I mean, the matte painting stuff, I mentioned The Wiz, they do the same thing here. You know, they did it to get a visual style and to save money, but it looks a little more janky in the 80s, but it's still very fun. We don't get a lot of the Tin Man in this movie, but I love that they call him by his name that he's in the book, the Tin Woodsman. She calls him by that. And
oh, I was gonna say, I was like, I wonder why she calls him that, but that makes sense.
That's in the book. Because that's what they call him in the book. And man, there's so much going on in this movie that's freaky.
I loved there was a lot of like nods to the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of differences where, again, they took from the original movie and they brought it over and they made it in their own, which is great. I love that. I hate when they try to make it too much like the same. I do love when it's because it's a completely different era too, like a completely different decade. So to take something and to like bring out your own creative version, I really appreciate that. But I absolutely love and respect how they have these nods to the original movie
and the books too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really small, but they do make mention that when the Wicked Witch was slain, that the Scarecrow became the King of Oz. He ran things, mm-hmm. And you know, most of the quest of the film is her looking for a Scarecrow, because he was the guy that was running things until the Gnome King messed everything up. You know.
Yeah, and again, they brought back the ruby red slippers, and the way Dorothy talked. There were certain words that she said that were in the original movie that Dorothy said in this movie as well, which I thought was really cool. So again, it was just a small nod to the original. I think there was a like when Dorothy had a bow in her hair, it was basically the same thing that the original Dorothy had as well. So again, really cool. Just small things that attach the movies together.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot to say about this film, but I wish I would have done a little more research about the book compared to the film, because people have a lot of problems with that. What's the one with James Franco? I forget now, but it was the one that came out a few years ago that Sam Raimi directed.
Oh.
But
I can't think of it either.
I forget now, but people have a problem with that movie. I don't, because they pay a lot more attention to the source material that's in the books, and this one does the same, because I remember when this came out, the books became popular again, because people didn't know, people that watched The Wizard of Oz and watched The Wiz may not know that book series is like 16 books deep or something, and very little of it is about Dorothy, and it's more about this universe that she went to, but it's more about the goings on of what's going on in the universe, and they're very interesting. They're very dark. And I think this film captures the darkness of those books way better than any other incarnation ever was.
It's just fun to see. Okay, so I know when I first watched it a while ago, I didn't like it because it didn't match the Wizard of Oz. There's so many differences about the Wizard of Oz. But now the second time that I watch it, while I'm watching it, I'm like, they really made it their own. They really took it, and they took the idea of the books, they took the ideas or some things from the original movie, and they created their own movie. And I really think that was a fun way of doing it. I do, again, Scarecrow is one of those things, so like not having an actual Scarecrow is it's kind of sad, but I loved how they incorporated all the puppeteering and they went that route with this movie. So they did make it more kid friendly, so with the puppets and stuff, except the story is definitely dark.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely terrifying for a child. But anyways, yeah, I loved it. I love that they went the route of the puppeteering, and that was different from any of the Oz movies that you see.
Yeah, the director of this film, this is like one of the ones he's ever directed. He worked in sound a lot on some pretty famous flicks like The Conversation, but this being his only directorial thing, and I'm not sure how successful it was. I mean, because I'm sure because of the dark nature that people were turned off by it, but again, those are people that didn't know that these books were a thing, and that how intricate they are to the plot of this movie, and they just didn't get it. Let's put it that way. But now, I mean, this has become a big film in people's eyes. Watched it like on Disney Channel, or like saw it later and said, "Wow," or like you watched it the one time. And then you watch it again. A lot of those folks are the same as you. They watched it again and realized the much bigger picture of the much bigger scope of the film like this. I think I'm better for that, for watching it when I'm older.
Yeah, it's always a smart thing to do. I watched it when I was like 20 when I watched it, 21. And I feel like I was just bitter back then. There's a lot of movies I watched back then that now I'm like, wait, this is actually really good. I really enjoy this.
This isn't Lee's Wizard of Oz, goddammit.
I'm a lot more open-minded. Yeah, I'm a lot more open-minded. I don't know. I had the sense that it had to be the same. It had to be the same. But now I much more appreciate when anything or any movie can really make it their own, and really make this, really create and develop characters. Still kind of like have the same idea and the same original story about the characters, but then create something that's entirely new.
Yeah, I ain't got a whole lot more to say about this one, except, I don't want to, again, this is a film I don't want to give a whole lot away about, because there's really some nice surprises in here that if you've never seen it before, I don't want to say, and then this happened, and that happened, this happened, this happened. The Wiz is much more paint by numbers to say, okay, you remember this from Wizard of Oz? Here it is, but in our own special way. Yeah. This goes a lot deeper, so I think you guys should watch it if you haven't seen it before. And
I think so too. It's a definitely recommend watch the movie.
I'm gonna kick it back to you though, and anything else you'd like to say about the film and what you gave it 1 to 10.
I think I've pretty much said everything I had to say. I think this movie's really cool. Again, visually, it's a lot more. Or sorry, visually, it's just so freaking cool. That's all I'm gonna say. It's so freaking cool. Like just the characters that they made, the costumes that they made, the sets that we made. Again, the taking some parts from the original Wizard of Oz, taking parts from the book, and making this movie and kind of really creating its own story is just freaking awesome. I'm gonna give this movie. I think I'm gonna give this movie an 8.5.
Nice. Yeah, I'm close. I'm at an 8 with it. Yeah, I like it a lot, and like I said, it has to do with the villains for me, because Jean Marsh, man, she'll mess you up. If you haven't seen Willow, Leah, I'm recommending that, because it's a part of my childhood. It really is.
I haven't seen it yet, and it's been mentioned to me like so many times. I don't know how I haven't seen this movie yet. But it's on my list now. I have to watch it. It's got to be done.
When we it's on the list. When we do the Golden Child and Willow together, you're welcome to come back on the show again, because I want to know your feelings about Willow and the Golden Child.
I might have to.
Yeah.
I might have to do that. It'll force me to watch it too.
Oh yeah. Oh man, it's great. Everything about it's great. But you know what else is great? A brand new segment of the show that we hope you enjoy. And I take my cousin's child, Alyssa, and I introduce her to some flicks. She watched The Faculty this time around because I didn't want to. So this is her. This is a new segment called How Suh Sees It. Welcome to a brand new segment that I call How Suh Sees It. I take this teenage girl that... I make her watch some stuff, and she tells me what she thinks about it. Usually, my opinion of these things is doesn't share with her opinion. So, I threw a softball this time around, and I'm gonna introduce her to the show right now to you people. She's my cousin's child. She's 13. She's hormonal. She's Alyssa. How you doing?
Hi.
Are you excited to do this podcast thing? I'm excited to have you.
I am excited. I'm very excited, actually.
Great.
I keep telling everyone, I'm so happy I'm being podcast famous.
That's great. I threw you a softball, like I said. I made you watch The Faculty from 1999 for the simple reason that we reviewed it once, and I'm mediocre on it, and I didn't want to review it again. So I said, I'll throw Alyssa this, and I said she might really like it because it's kind of hip, it's kind of scary in parts. Some stuff she might not get sometimes because they're tributing other things. They call them homages, by the way, when they tribute other films that are usually better films. But we watched The Faculty, and as we do on this show, we're going to listen to the preview right now, and here it is.
No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers' dirty looks.
The students at Harrington High have always suspected their teachers were from another planet.
Is this going to be on the test?
This is the test.
This time, they're right. Now, these 6 students won't just question authority. They'll have to destroy it. Critics are calling it hip and scary. A thrilling ride from beginning to end. The Faculty.
Please report to the principal's office.
Yeah, so that's what they call a trailer, girl. That's what the preview they play when you go to the movies, and I thought it was a much better one than that when I first seen it because I was excited to see it because I thought I was getting something else, but I got a bunch of pretty kids doing pretty things the year I graduated high school, and aliens and such. But I'm going to kick it to you, Alyssa, and I'm going to ask you first impressions. What'd you think of the movie in general?
I enjoyed the movie. I think it was very interesting. At first, I was like, it's going to be an old movie. I'm not going to really like it because I haven't really liked old movies and scary movies from there. But I enjoyed it. I think it was really well presented, and I enjoyed it. I like the first part, like 20 minutes of the movie, I was kind of iffy about it. I was like, and then I watched the rest of the movie, and I really enjoyed it.
What'd you like about the movie?
Just how, I liked the characters. One, I liked, what was, who was the alien and stuff like that. I enjoyed that. And, yeah, and enjoyed how everybody, changed once they got turned into aliens.
What didn't you like about the movie? I'm curious about that.
I mean, it was an old movie. I didn't really like it. I didn't really like the fact that it was made so late, and I didn't like how everyone. Parts of it I really enjoyed. Parts of it was okay, I guess.
Yeah, I think it helps if you know, there's a lot of young faces in the movie that you've seen other things, like you've seen them in other things before, like what one co-host of mine calls the Zeke character, Josh Hartnett. She calls him 8th grade haircut. I think it's hilarious because he kind of has that little boy haircut.
Yeah.
But a lot of this film has stuff, and we're gonna watch some of these movies too. I'm excited to show them to you. Like the older woman at the beginning, that is an homage to her character in this movie called Carrie. Well, it was a book first, then it was a movie. And I'm gonna show you that one day. And they do an homage to a movie called The Thing, which is a remake from 1982, where they're doing the testing to see who's going to be the alien because of Zeke's wonder dust.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, I have to ask you more questions here. And what do you think now? Like you watch a lot of stuff. I mean, older stuff, newer stuff. We're gonna get into some stuff. What do you think could have made the movie better for you?
I think maybe what would have made it better was I don't know. I'm trying to think. What would have made it better is I don't know, maybe more teachers involved, or like something like I don't know, add another character to the group of kids.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that would have made it maybe better to show more teachers.
Now, if you watch the movie, the TV show Dawson's Creek at all, because the guy that did the writing for this movie wrote that show, and then later went on to write a pretty popular horror film called Scream, which we might do one day, because I think Scream is a much better film than this. Yeah, because the way he writes these people in this movie, I think it's kind of lazy, because they make them. I don't know. It's a lot. It's too many tributes for me. When I saw the preview for the movie, I was expecting more of I don't know. It's
like gory.
No, because it's not meant for that. This might be a PG-13. See, they do this, girl. They do this thing where they make a PG-13, so kids like you can go to the movies and go see it without too much parental interference. And this one I think pulls it off pretty well as far as that goes. But the characters. Now, what do you think of Stokely? She's an actress called Clea Duvall, who I don't enjoy. I have to ask this question to you.
Well, I think she played off like being like a monster at first. Like, remember how she like came back and like got saved by Casey? I think that the fact that how she hid that she was a monster from him, and so we found out she was a monster. I think that she did that really well, and I really enjoyed that part of the movie. And how she was like, I watched movies where this happens, and I didn't think it actually happened to me, and it wouldn't happen in real life, and it happened. So yeah, I enjoyed her character. Her and Casey and Delilah were my favorite 3 characters.
Yep. And I know how you hate this, but one of my favorite characters of the film, because I've seen other things is the teacher, Mrs. I forget her name, but she's played by an actress called Famke Janssen, and she's good looking in this movie, and probably my favorite thing about this movie, because I don't enjoy it all that much. It's made for audiences, like you kind of. It's made for this like teenage audience that doesn't want a big scare, but they want a scare, and I think it does those kind of scares very well. Do you think it does those scares pretty well? Like wow, you jumped at a certain point in the movie, and
yeah, I did. I mean, I think they did it like it wasn't like a really really scary movie, but they did it where it was like, okay, we're gonna scare you here and there parts of the movie.
Cool. Now overall, if you had to give a rating, 1 to 10, Alyssa, because I'm gonna throw some real curveballs at you before you know it. What would you give this one 1 to 10?
A 7 or a 6.
That's fair. I mean, that's right where I'm at. So we agree on this one,
Yeah.
So that's why this is a softball. Easy way to ease you into this. And would you like to do more of this? Did you have a good time?
I did have a good time. I enjoyed this.
Well, that's good. I'm gonna. Yeah, that's about it for this one. And guys, hope you guys enjoyed, Alyssa. And she'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye. Say goodbye, Alyssa.
All right, bye.
Well, Leah, it's been fun. We had a good time by ourselves, I think. And you're on a great show. I want to let you tell the folks all about it.
So I'm on a show called They Must Be Destroyed on Sight, where we review movies and, we have a few beverages and we review movies. And I think they're at first they were doing, when I first joined in, they were kind of going through the decades. But now it's just been a little bit more all over the place. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great show. I get to chat with Lee, Daniel, and Paul. And we've done like all sorts of different movies. I actually got to watch my first spaghetti western. Somehow my mom is actually from Italy, and so I'm half Italian, and I've never even knew that spaghetti westerns existed. So the joke is now I'm the worst Italian ever.
Oh, there's a lot of them. I wouldn't call you the worst Italian ever, though, because of that.
It seems like it. It seems like it, just because I feel like culture-wise I'm very not there. It's only my mom that I have Italian in me. Other than that, there's nothing. But yeah, it's a great show, and I definitely recommend you guys to go see it or watch it. Listen to it.
All of the above, people. Okay, you know.
Exactly.
Me, you can find all my stuff on Legion, Cinema Beef, Two Drink Venom Commentaries, Last Call Torchies, and official Legion Patreon show, Blood from the Core, with myself and Derek Bourgeois. I will keep this really, really short because I'm sweating in my closet here, baby. But thanks for listening.